Hey everybody! Today we're talking about solid figures, and I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. Solid figures can also be called 3D shapes. 3D means three-dimensional, and the reason it's three-dimensional is because 3D shapes have dimension. That means they have length, width, and height. That means so they can be tall and wide, but they can also be deep on the inside, okay? So the first one I'm going to show you is a cube. You guys should already know what a cube looks like. Just think about like an ice cube that you see. So here's a cube. Cubes have squares on all sides, okay? And I'm also going to give you a real world example of a cube. What is that? Dice. A dice is an example, or actually, if it's just one, we say die. If it's more than one, we say dice. But that is an example of a cube. Okay. The next one is, actually, we're going to get to that in a minute. Let's do a rectangular prism. Okay. This is a rectangular prism. This is one example. So you can see we have rectangles. Now there are some squares, but since there are some rectangles, it is now a rectangular prism. Rectangular prisms might also be more tall and skinny like this, okay? But if it has rectangles on the faces, those are rectangular prisms. Here is my real world example of a rectangular prism. And I don't know if you can see that there. Kleenex box. Now, if this were to still be closed in, this would actually be a rectangular prism. It has rectangles on the faces, some squares, but mostly rectangles, okay? All right, the next one we're going to talk about is a triangular prism. Here is what a triangular prism looks like. So it has a triangle on this face and the opposite face, and the triangles are congruent. Now the triangles are connected, and when those triangles connect, what do the faces end up looking like? They look like squares or rectangles, okay? So we've got triangle in the front, triangle on the back, but then the rest of the faces are squares or rectangles, okay? And I just went out in my husband's garage, and he likes to build stuff out of wood a lot, so I actually found a piece of scrap wood that was a triangular prism. How cool is that? So I've got triangle on this side and on the back, triangle, but like if I hold it this way, I can see all rectangles, okay? So that is a triangular prism. Now, a triangular prism is a prism, and a rectangular prism is a prism. But something we're going to talk about tomorrow is there's another type of prism, but it doesn't have the word prism on it, and that is the cube, okay? I want you to think about why this might be a prism too. We're going to talk more about it tomorrow, but I want you to be thinking about that. Okay, this is probably everybody's favorite cone, because I think when you think of cone, you think of an ice cream cone, at least I do. Here is my example of a cone. If you hold it this way, it does look like an ice cream cone, okay? Here is my real world example of a cone. And I know Coach has these, you guys may have these at home, but we play soccer with them or sports with them. There's your cone. Okay, our next one is sphere. And a sphere is totally round. Okay, there is nothing flat on a sphere. So we play with spheres a lot. Here is my real world example of a sphere. Who likes basketball? I do. All right. And last but not least, I decided to get into the spirit, and we know toilet paper is going around like crazy and everybody's having a hard time finding it. What shape would a roll of toilet paper be? It's a cylinder. So here's a cylinder. It's a circle on this base and a circle on this base, but it would roll. And then here's another example. This one's skinnier, but it's still a cylinder. We've got a circle base, and it would roll. Here's my real world example. I was lucky enough to find toilet paper last week. So how awesome is that, that I have enough of this for a while at least. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is get on Google Classroom, and I want you to either take a picture of some examples of three-dimensional figures that you can find, or maybe you could write them down, just something that you found if you can't take a picture. And I want you guys to try to find some things around the house that are solid figures or 3D shapes. Okay, have fun. Bye.